My mother-in-law ruined my wedding, my pregnancy announcement, and my baby shower. The hospital finally put an end to it. My husband's mother, Brenda, is a textbook narcissist. If the spotlight isn't on her, she will set the room on fire just so people look at her. At our wedding, she showed up in a literal bridal gown, accidentally tripped into the chocolate fountain, and spent the reception crying that I was stealing her baby boy. When we got pregnant, she intercepted our custom cake order for the family dinner and blasted the ultrasound on Facebook 2 hours before we could tell my own parents. At my baby shower, she opened my gifts, announced she was moving into our spare room to play live-in nanny, and threw a tantrum when I told her absolutely not. I was stressed, exhausted, and terrified she would ruin the actual birth. So when my water broke, I made a strict rule. Nobody in the delivery room except my husband. But Brenda doesn't do rules. While I was in the middle of active labor, agonizing through painful contractions, the door to my private room burst open. Brenda marched in like she owned the place, followed by a professional photographer she had hired without our permission. Surprise! Brenda beamed, completely ignoring my visible agony. I'm here to capture the magical moment for my followers. Move over, dear. I want to get a photo holding your hand for the grid. I was hyperventilating, completely blindsided. I told you no visitors. Brenda just chuckled, that familiar arrogant smirk plastered on her face. She stepped right over my monitor lines and sat on the edge of my bed. Oh, don't be so dramatic and selfish. This is my grandchild. I have a right to be here. Now smile for the camera. She actually thought she was untouchable. She thought because we were in a hospital, I wouldn't make a scene. What the wicked witch didn't know was that the labor and delivery wing doesn't play games. During my admission, my nurse had explicitly asked if there were any unwanted individuals we needed blacklisted. I had put Brenda's name at the very top. My husband didn't even argue with her. He walked straight to the wall, pressed the emergency staff button, and looked at the primary nurse who walked in. Code purple, unlicensed visitor refusing to leave. Brenda scoffed, rolling her eyes. Oh please, I'm the grandmother. You can't kick me out. 2 minutes later, the door flew open. 3 massive hospital security guards and an on-duty supervisor walked in. The supervisor looked at the chart, then looked at Brenda. Ma'am, you are not on the approved visitor list. You are interfering with a medical procedure. You need to vacate the floor immediately. The smirk vanished from Brenda's face, replaced by an ugly, mottled rage. Do you know who I am? I am the paternal grandmother. I am not leaving my son. She stood up, screaming at the top of her lungs, and actually tried to push past the guard to grab my husband's arm. The security guards didn't hesitate for a fraction of a second. Brenda was dragged down the hallway, screaming, crying, and cursing my name, right past the waiting room full of other families. Because she resisted and pushed a guard, the hospital had the local police waiting at the loading dock. She was booked for disturbing the peace and disorderly conduct in a medical facility. She spent the night in a county holding cell while I peacefully brought my beautiful baby into the world. Her lawyer is currently begging us to ask the hospital to drop the charges so she can avoid a restraining order. Our response? Absolutely not. Brenda wanted to steal every milestone of my life. Now she's banned from the hospital, banned from our home, and the entire family knows she was escorted out of a maternity ward like a criminal. And for the first time in 3 years, I have absolute peace.